Superhero movies have dominated the box office for over a decade, and after a disappointing DC crossover and the Big Bang Avengers Endgame a lot of these movies post-Endgame lacked the magic that we all came for. And this led into some speculation about superhero fatigue, the idea that audiences are simply tired of the genre. However, many suggest that audiences aren't bored of superhero movies per se, but rather a stale formula. In fact, fresh creative approaches have reinvigorated the genre. Innovative storytelling can overcome any so-called fatigue. Superhero fatigue refers to a sense of burnout or diminishing interest among audience towards superhero movies, often blamed on oversaturation or formulaic content. In recent years, Marvel and DC has released dozens of films and series, and not all of them have maintained a high quality. Churning out mediocre, repetitive stories will eventually alienate audiences. In other words, viewers are still happy to show up for superheroes, but they expect novelty and quality. Even James Gunn, now the CEO of DC Studios, acknowledged that superhero fatigue can be real once the movies start getting repetitive and too much like each other, cautioning against relying on the same old good guy, bad guy, giant thing in the sky formula. Importantly, many creators and critics argued that the issue isn't over the genre itself, but the lack of fresh ideas. The Boys actor Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, voiced this sentiment clearly. I don't think the audience is fatigued, they are hungry as hell for superhero content. So I think it's easy to start saying it's superhero fatigue or whatever. I think people just want fresh stories, fresh ideas, and fresh storytelling. In short, audiences aren't inherently tired of superheroes, they're tired of the predictability. The solution is to surprise the viewer with new angles, tones, and themes. And from this year, 3 superhero movies proved just that. Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts is a prime example of countering superhero fatigue with a fresh approach. Instead of following the usual Marvel formula, this film dives into character psyches and personal demons, adopting a tone more akin to an indie drama than the standard comic book film. In fact, Florence Pugh described Thunderbolts as an indie A24 feeling assassin movie with Marvel superheroes. The directors and writers took risks by tackling topics like mental health, trauma, and loneliness within the superhero narrative. One of the team members, Bob, suffers from profound psychological issues, and his loneliness and depression form a major plot point in the story. In fact, the film's climax isn't a city-smashing battle at all, but an emotional confrontation, essentially in the headspace. Critics overwhelmingly praise the Thunderbolts for breaking the mold. Instead of bombastic CGI set pieces, the film grounds itself into characters, relationships, and struggles. It's a film about its characters, not about its universe, more concerned with the protagonists' lives and what their actions mean. This more intimate, heartfelt focus gives Thunderbolts an emotional weight that superhero films lacked. Even the action is scaled thoughtfully. It pulls back on the massive visual effects and embraces a more traditional action movie feel. The result is a movie that feels fresh and human. After years of dark or deconstructed takes on superheroes, DC's new Superman proves that the earnest optimism can feel revolutionary. This film is written and directed by James Gunn, who deliberately harkens back to Superman's classic persona as a beacon of hope. The oversaturation of the evil Superman trope that has popped up in projects like Brightburn, The Boys, Injustice, Invincibles, Eternals, it's almost as if people are saying Superman is only interesting when it's evil. Instead, Gunn takes an optimistic and hopeful take on Superman. Everyone's gotten so cynical and ironic, and Superman's a good-natured guy who wants to be kind. When you see the world through Superman's eyes, everyone is beautiful. James Gunn said during an interview, highlighting the character's fundamentally positive worldview. Bringing Superman back to his truth, justice, and hope roots isn't as boring, but rather it's timely. In this day and age, people are less and less hopeful about the future, and that gives us more of a craving for a strictly good character without ulterior motives. It's far more intriguing to see a character that's pure at a time like this. And reactions highlight this as well. The film's fun, comic book feel, and heartfelt spirit is far from feeling corny, and this return to classic form has been met with excitement. The amount of optimism was not only expected, but it was necessary for a Superman film. And from many reactions I've seen online, people are leaving this movie wanting to be a better person. If that isn't Superman, then I don't know what is. Finally, we have Marvel's Fantastic Four: First Steps, and this offers a blueprint that keeps the superhero genre exciting. It changes the setting and style to let beloved characters shine. Rather than inserting them into the MCU, it's set in an alternate retro-futuristic 1960s universe, separated from the mainline MCU continuity. This choice may have been the single-handedly best decision to make this feel fresh. The film starts with the Fantastic Four already being established and celebrated as the world's protector. By skipping the usual origin story exposition, the movie spares the audience homework and dives straight into a fresh storyline. The film's distinct setting and tone allows its characters in this world to truly shine. it leans onto the nostalgic Jetsons aesthetic. From Reed's retro gadgets to mid-century modern cityscapes and fashion, it's a vibrant world building that gives First Steps the visual flair unlike any recent Marvel movie. And more importantly, the heart of the film, the family dynamic. It's as much a family drama as it is a superhero movie. The emotional core comes between the family. Rather than focusing on the universe and the stakes or the MCU cross-references, it zeroes in on personal stakes. At one point, there's a dilemma between saving the world and protecting their own. The central family is well developed, with each member getting their own crucial moment to shine. The villain Galactus and Silver Surfer are used extremely effectively while maintaining the focus on the Four's growth and teamwork. In the end, First Step succeeds where previous Fantastic Four attempts falter. It's fun, accessible, and rich with personality. Despite warnings of superhero fatigue, 2025's roster of superhero films demonstrate that the genre is far from doomed. It's evolving. The common thread in the examples above is innovation, telling different kinds of stories, whether it's through a deeper thematic lens, a tonal course correction, or a stylistic shakeup. Audience respond to these films because they offer fresh ideas within the superhero framework, proving that people aren't just tired of heroes and capes. They're tired of seeing the same old story over and over again. In the hands of creative filmmakers, comic book movies can still be a surprise, a delight, and even inspire. Superhero fatigue was never an unbeatable foe. Like any villain, it only needed the right heroes and the ideas to save the day. If you're new here, my name is Yuno, and now you know. I usually do manga and anime content on this channel, but I wanted to talk about superhero films because honestly, Thunderbolts, Superman, and Fantastic Four has been absolutely incredible, and I just needed to talk about it. If you like superhero content like this, do not go to me, go to my homie Nightwing Stan. He is awesome. He's one of my favorite channels on YouTube. But thank you guys for watching, and if you want to see more content from me, feel free to hit the subscribe button. And until next time, you know where to find Yuno.